Have you noticed your legs are always the first place to show your age? Not when you're walking, but first thing in the morning, right after you wake up, before you even get out of bed, just placing your feet on the floor. The feeling is already different. Some days your calves feel slightly tight. Some days that first step feels like you've lost strength. Some nights a sudden cramp makes you sit bolt upright, rubbing your leg and sighing. People often think it's just old age, but that's not necessarily true. There's something quietly happening all night long, making your legs weaker little by little that almost no one pays attention to. Because sleep in reality isn't downtime. Instead, it's when the body begins to recover, especially the muscles in your legs. But to recover, it needs raw materials. And if it doesn't have them, instead of regenerating, the muscle actually depletes a little more every night. The good news is, with just a few simple, easy-to-find foods consumed before bed, you can help your legs recover properly. No medication needed, no new exercises, just eating right at the right time. In today's video, I'll show you why your legs get weaker even when you're just sleeping. Simple yet effective foods, scientifically proven to help preserve muscle fibers, prevent cramps, and support deeper sleep. And especially how to easily incorporate them to fit your evening routine, whether you eat dinner early or late, whether you exercise little or a lot. If you've ever felt your legs gradually weakening for no clear reason or have been woken up in the middle of the night by a sudden cramp, stay with me, because in just a few more minutes you'll know how to protect your legs even while you sleep. Many older adults often share that when they wake up in the morning, their legs don't feel as steady as they used to. Not to the point of pain, but that first step is always slow, somewhat hesitant. A feeling of looseness in the knees, heaviness in the calves, or sometimes mild cramps at 3 to 4 a.m. These signs are often overlooked and gradually become normal with age. But the remarkable thing is, most of these people eat quite regularly, go to bed on time, and don't have any serious underlying health conditions. So why do their muscles, especially in their legs, noticeably weaken after just one night? The answer lies in sleep itself. At night, the body doesn't truly rest as many people think. On the contrary, this is a crucial time for the muscular system to begin the recovery process after a long day of activity. Micro-damaged muscle fibers are repaired and regenerated, but only if the body has enough raw materials. And those raw materials don't generate themselves. They come from what the body receives before sleep. If dinner is too early, or if nothing else is consumed before bed, the body can lack the necessary substances to rebuild muscle. This leads to a silent chain of reactions. Muscles aren't repaired properly. The small muscle bundles in the legs gradually thin out. Protective muscle reflexes are delayed. And the next morning, feelings of weakness, trembling, or slow standing appear. Older adults are even more susceptible because the natural process of protein synthesis decreases with age. If not supported by a light amount of protein, magnesium, or biological melatonin from food, the nocturnal recovery cycle cannot proceed completely. Symptoms like difficulty falling asleep, shallow sleep, or nocturnal muscle cramps can indicate that the legs are not being maintained properly when they need it most. The positive aspect is, this problem is completely treatable. Simply providing the right types of food at the right time just before bed allows the body to use them as fuel to support muscle protein synthesis, naturally relax muscles, preventing cramps, boost sleep hormones to help the body recover more deeply. No major lifestyle changes needed, no extra supplements, just a few of the right foods that can be found right in your familiar kitchen are enough to take complete care of your legs while your body rests. Now you know, if you don't have enough raw materials before bed, your body can't recover properly, and each morning your legs get a little weaker. But that also opens a door of hope. If you provide your body with what it needs right before you go to bed, the muscle rebuilding process can occur completely throughout the night. Think about the last time you ate during the day. If dinner ended around 5 to 6 p.m. and you go to bed at 10 p.m., that means at least 4 to 5 hours have passed without your body receiving any additional nutrients. During that time, your digestive system has completed its task, and when you lie down, your body begins to shift into recovery mode. This is a very important phase, especially for people over 60, when the ability to self-repair muscles is no longer as robust as before. Unfortunately, if there aren't enough raw materials like protein or essential amino acids, the body will be forced to draw from its reserves to maintain the repair process. But over time, those reserves also become scarcer. So the question is, what should you eat before bed to help your leg muscles not only avoid depletion, but also grow stronger day by day? The first answer comes from a very familiar food in American kitchens, but often overlooked due to its overly simple appearance: cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is a soft, unpressed fresh cheese with small curds and a slightly mild taste. What makes this food special isn't its flavor, but the type of protein it contains: casein. If fast proteins like chicken, eggs, or whey protein are like opening a faucet all at once, then casein is like a steady drip over many hours. When you eat cottage cheese before bed, amino acids are released slowly over 6 to 7 hours, exactly when your leg muscles need repair and regeneration after a long day. Compared to other protein sources, casein is the only type of protein that can quietly nourish muscles throughout the night without causing a heavy feeling in the stomach, without fluctuating blood sugar, and without making the heart work harder. This is why cottage cheese becomes the ideal nighttime recovery food, especially for people over 60. For younger individuals, this effect might be negligible, but for people over 60, whose bodies have already begun to lose their ability to synthesize muscle as before, such a consistent protein source is absolutely essential. Besides casein, cottage cheese also provides an important amino acid called leucine, which acts as a switch to turn on muscle synthesis. For older adults, the ability to initiate the muscle building mechanism slows down, requiring more leucine than in younger individuals. A 200-gram serving of low-fat cottage cheese provides approximately 2.7 grams of leucine, a threshold proven sufficient to activate muscle synthesis even in people aged 65 and older. This means that cottage cheese not only nourishes muscles steadily throughout the night, but also helps unlock that process to begin at the right time. A study published in Cambridge University Press using isotopic tracing techniques showed that older adults who consumed 40 grams of casein equivalent to 200 grams of cottage cheese before bed had a significantly higher rate of muscle protein synthesis compared to those who ate nothing or took a placebo. Not only that, the study also noted that sleep was deeper and less interrupted in the cottage cheese group, thanks to the stable supply of amino acids, which helped prevent the body from activating starvation mode in the middle of the night. How to eat it correctly for ease and effectiveness. No need for complicated recipes or cooking. The simplest and most effective way is to consume about 3 to 4 full tablespoons, equivalent to 200 grams of low-fat 1% and low-sodium cottage cheese. This product is usually sold pre-packaged in small tubs in US supermarkets and can be eaten directly. No cooking or extra seasoning needed. Just open the lid, grab a spoon, and eat it chilled. However, for some people who aren't accustomed to the mild, slightly tangy and creamy taste of cottage cheese, it might be a bit difficult to eat at first. In that case, a very helpful little trick is to sprinkle a little cinnamon powder on top. Cinnamon not only creates a pleasant, warm aroma, but also helps regulate blood sugar, a very significant benefit for older adults, especially if they are monitoring their blood sugar levels. Another way is to combine it with a few slices of fresh kiwi. The mild sweet and sour taste of kiwi balances the mild creaminess of the cheese, while also adding vitamin C, a crucial nutrient for collagen synthesis and muscle tissue recovery. This small snack, when looked at closely, is not only delicious but also a clever combination of slow-absorbing protein and muscle-supporting micronutrients. The ideal time to eat cottage cheese is about 30 to 45 minutes before going to bed. This is enough time for the stomach to process it gently and begin delivering protein, primarily casein, into the bloodstream just as the body shifts into its nighttime recovery mode. Casein is a slow-digesting protein, particularly suitable for providing building blocks for muscles steadily for several hours while you sleep. Not everyone needs it, but for those who show signs of insufficient nighttime recovery, cottage cheese can be a very worthwhile solution. For instance, people who typically eat light dinners and lack protein, or those who habitually skip afternoon meals fearing bloating, vegetarians who don't balance their protein intake sufficiently, or older adults who don't sleep deeply and experience early morning leg cramps also belong to the group who could significantly benefit from this food, especially if you've passed the age of 60 and are starting to feel your legs weaker each morning, feeling less decisive when standing up, or needing a few steps before walking normally. Then this is the time to add a small but stable building block for muscle recovery. No need to eat it every day. Just consuming it 4 to 6 times a week is enough to create a stable nutritional foundation for your legs and for your entire body. A 68-year-old woman in California once shared her experience after trying to eat cottage cheese in the evening for 2 weeks. She typically ate dinner around 5 p.m., then didn't eat anything else until she went to bed. Previously, she often felt stiffness in her calves in the morning and sometimes woke up in the middle of the night due to a dull ache in her legs, a feeling she couldn't explain. After adding cottage cheese to her evening diet, she noticed that she could get up more easily each morning. The feeling of calf stiffness noticeably subsided. And most importantly, those awakenings in the middle of the night due to aches almost disappeared. It's important to clarify, cottage cheese is not a miracle cure that creates change overnight, but it builds a foundation, stable, gentle, so that every night your legs are nourished properly. No more silent wear and tear, no more quiet weakening. Every morning you wake up with a body that is being preserved, little by little, consistently every day. And if cottage cheese is a simple start to muscle recovery at night, then kiwi, the refreshing fruit just mentioned, plays a different role. It not only promotes deeper sleep, but also directly participates in muscle tissue repair and improves blood circulation in the legs. So, what's so special about kiwi, and how should you use it to unlock its full potential? We'll explore that right now. Your body can't recover without proper rest. That might sound obvious, but many older adults go to bed every night and don't truly rest. They lie down on time, lights off, TV off, but their eyes remain open, their minds are still active, and their muscles, instead of resting, are subtly twitching in gentle spasms. When they finally do fall asleep, it's already past midnight, and just a few hours later, a small noise or a sudden cramp is enough to wake them up. Here's the problem. Shallow sleep can't help your body repair muscle fibers damaged during the day. Restless sleep is like charging your phone by repeatedly plugging and unplugging the cord. The battery might still show full, but its actual quality is significantly weakened. So, how can you achieve deeper, faster sleep without relying on sleeping pills? There's a natural solution from a sweet, soft fruit that contains many bioactive compounds that help calm nerves and regulate sleep. Ripe kiwi. What makes kiwi special for people over 60? Kiwi is widely known as a great source of vitamin C, which is good for immunity, but few people know that kiwi also contains a significant amount of natural serotonin, a neurotransmitter that acts as a precursor to melatonin, the hormone that controls your body's sleep-wake cycle. Not only that, kiwi also contains vitamin E, helps with mild anti-inflammatory effects in muscle tissue. Folate helps stabilize central nervous system activity, and a generous amount of potassium, which helps regulate muscle contraction and prevents nighttime cramps. Kiwi's greatest strength is that it doesn't cause sudden drowsiness like medication. Instead, it helps your body gently re-regulate its biological rhythm. By eating 1 to 2 ripe kiwis about an hour before bedtime, your body will easily enter a natural state of relaxation, thereby paving the way for deeper, longer sleep to arrive faster. A 4-week clinical study on older adults with sleep problems showed very convincing results. Just by eating 2 kiwis an hour before bed, participants reduced their time spent tossing and turning by as much as 35%, meaning they fell asleep significantly faster. Not only that, Their total sleep time each night also increased by an average of 13%, and most importantly, the proportion of deep sleep, stage N3, where the body performs its most powerful recovery, also markedly increased. This study was published on PubMed and is considered one of the first pieces of evidence demonstrating the effectiveness of natural fruit for physiological sleep, especially in older adults. These findings don't stop at sleep. They open up a deeper understanding of the connection between food, sleep, and the body's ability to recover as we age. This is because the process of muscle fiber regeneration, especially for leg muscles that endure pressure all day long, only truly occurs effectively when the body enters deep sleep. This is the time when growth hormone is secreted most abundantly, micro-damaged muscle tissue is repaired, and proteins are synthesized to strengthen muscle power. This also explains why some people get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night, but still feel their legs tired and their steps unsteady in the morning. It's not because they lack sleep hours, but because they lack depth in their sleep, which prevents the body from fully recovering. Eating kiwi in the evening not only helps shorten the time it takes to fall asleep, but also helps extend the deep sleep phase, thereby indirectly enhancing muscle tissue regeneration and reducing that exhausted feeling the next morning. How to eat kiwi for optimal effectiveness. Choosing ripe kiwi is the first thing to note. The ideal fruit has a light brown skin and feels slightly soft when gently squeezed. If it's too hard, the kiwi can be tart, difficult to eat, and cause indigestion. Once you've chosen a good one, peel it, slice it thinly, and arrange it on a small plate. Eat it slowly, no need to rush. You can eat it while watching the evening news or reading a few pages of a book. Just 2 medium-sized kiwis per evening, equivalent to about 140 grams, are enough to see positive effects. If you've already tried using cottage cheese before bed, as discussed earlier, then kiwi is an ideal companion. However, if you don't like cottage cheese, you can try another combination that's light on the stomach and particularly suitable for older adults, kiwi with softened chia seeds. Just peel 1 to 2 ripe kiwis, dice them or slice them thinly, then mix with 2 teaspoons of chia seeds that have been soaked in 100 milliliters of warm water for about 30 minutes beforehand. If you want a little sweetness, you can add a touch of honey, but it's not necessary if the kiwi is already ripe. Chia seeds contain soluble fiber, which feels gentle on the stomach without causing heaviness. At the same time, they also provide tryptophan, an amino acid that supports sleep, helping to extend the relaxing effect that kiwi provides. This is a light, simple option that requires no cooking, but it provides significant support for deep sleep, especially for those who often feel slightly hungry or uncomfortable when lying down. A small but important note: kiwi is slightly acidic. If you've had stomach issues like acid reflux or mild inflammation, you should eat kiwi separately and not mix it with high-fat or high-protein foods like cheese to avoid digestive discomfort. If you're someone who experiences restless sleep, often wakes up in the middle of the night feeling uneasy, or frequently has mild cramps when changing positions near dawn, kiwi can be a small change that brings a noticeable impact. Older adults, especially those recovering from muscle loss or who are less active, should also consider kiwi as part of a gentle regimen to support sleep and body recovery. And if you want to make this an easy daily habit, imagine a typical evening in your life. Dinner is done by 5 p.m., dishes are washed, the kitchen is quiet. At 8:30 p.m., you're sitting on the sofa, the remote in hand, the news program about to start. That's the ideal time. If kiwi is the bridge that helps your body enter deep sleep, then the next food has the ability to naturally relax muscles, preventing nighttime cramps, a condition that causes millions of older adults to jolt awake, rubbing their legs in the dark. And that food, it's not a magnesium pill, but comes from a very familiar autumn ingredient: pumpkin seeds. There's a type of fatigue that's hard to name. It's a dull ache but not painful, a slight twitch in the calves, occasionally a sudden cramp in the middle of the night. These spasms often strike without warning, lasting a few seconds but leaving a feeling of annoyance for hours. Many people call it just part of getting old, but the truth is, you shouldn't and don't need to accept it as an inevitable part of aging. because in many cases, these muscle twitches are a whispered warning. Your body is lacking magnesium, a quiet mineral that plays a crucial role in keeping muscle fibers fully relaxed when we sleep. When the amount of magnesium in your blood slightly decreases, the small muscles in your legs become easily irritable. The nervous system can't send relaxation signals correctly, and the result is just one stretch of your legs at night can be the reason you have to sit up, bracing yourself against the bed to rub your legs in the dark. But there's a simple way to prevent those twitches. No medication needed, no pill supplements, just with a small handful of pumpkin seeds in the evening. This seemingly simple autumn snack actually contains almost everything a muscle system needs for quiet recovery at night. Nearly 40% of your daily magnesium needs in just 30 grams of seeds. A small amount of tryptophan, the raw material for serotonin and melatonin, and over 7 grams of plant-based protein to support muscle stability. In other words, pumpkin seeds are a double dose of relaxation, both for muscle relaxation and for calming the mind. They don't induce strong drowsiness like medication, don't cause bloating like a late-night meal, and certainly don't cause insomnia like high sugar or hidden caffeine foods. They simply do their small but essential job, helping the body truly rest. Imagine this: you went to bed at 9:30 p.m., you lie down, lights off, everything is quiet, but just an hour later, a strange sensation appears in your calves. Not painful, but a gentle tightness. An hour and a half later, your legs start twitching slightly for no clear reason. It's not due to lack of movement. It's not due to interrupted sleep. It's because your body is trying to contract to find a way to relax that it doesn't have. In many cases, just a little magnesium at the right time is enough to avoid all that. And that magnesium, instead of coming from a pill, can come from 2 tablespoons of unsalted, dry roasted pumpkin seeds. If you're sitting on the sofa at 8:30 p.m., catching up on the news or playing a few rounds of crossword puzzles, that's the ideal time to grab a small handful of pumpkin seeds, put them in a small ceramic bowl, slowly savor each seed, chewing, feeling the mild, nutty taste. No need to add anything, no extra salt or butter, just light roasting to bring out the aroma if you prefer it warm. About 2 minutes in a dry pan is enough. For those who have ever woken up with cramps at 2 to 3 a.m. or who need to sit for a while in the morning to warm up their legs, pumpkin seeds can make a noticeable, yet subtle, difference. Imagine if, with just a small habit, consistently, a few nights a week, you could reduce the number of times you wake up due to muscle twitching, feel your legs lighter when stepping out of bed, and start your day with a more stable, steadier gait. Would you like to experience that? Not everyone needs to take magnesium supplements, but almost everyone can benefit from a natural, easily absorbable source of magnesium like that found in pumpkin seeds, especially those who eat dinner early and don't consume anything before bedtime, often experience mild leg spasms while lying down, or find it difficult to fall asleep because their body hasn't truly relaxed. To enhance the relaxing effect, pumpkin seeds can be eaten with half a ripe banana slice, rich in potassium, regulates muscle contraction. A glass of warm low-fat milk, if not lactose intolerant. Or best of all, combined with 120 milliliters of tart cherry juice, which we'll talk about next. This duo, pumpkin seeds and tart cherry, is often called the drug-free nighttime relaxation formula in many current clinical studies. A small note: you should choose unsalted, unsweetened, oil-free roasted pumpkin seeds. Loose bulk seeds from stores like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, or other bulk food stores are often the optimal choice. If you want to roast them at home, use a small cast iron skillet, stirring constantly over low heat for 2 to 3 minutes until the seeds are warm but not burned. And don't think of this as just a snack. Consider pumpkin seeds a small way to communicate with your body, a silent message saying, "Now we rest, no more straining." Your body will listen, and if you are patient, your body will respond. And if you want to complete your nighttime recovery routine, wait for the next item. It's not a pill, it's not a herbal tea, it's a deep red drink, gently tart, where just a small sip is enough to help your sleep last an extra 20 minutes. deeper, more complete, tart cherry juice. The drink proven by research to both reduce inflammation and help the body sink into more restorative sleep. After building muscle with cottage cheese, gently relaxing with kiwi, and preventing cramps with pumpkin seeds, you might be wondering, what about that slight soreness in my calves after an active day? Or, I sleep fine, but I wake up earlier than I'd like and it doesn't feel as refreshing as before. If you've ever had these questions, then the last food on tonight's list might be the missing piece you need: tart cherry juice, not the sweet red cherries typically used as pie toppings, but the naturally tart, deep red cherries, commonly grown in Michigan, Utah, and Oregon. The concentrated juice of this fruit has been extensively researched for over a decade, especially for older adults with chronic insomnia and mild muscle pain. Have you ever experienced this? You go to bed on time, no worries at all, but when you wake up, you don't feel recovered. Your legs still feel heavy, your knees aren't quite flexible, your sleep, though long, isn't restful. Or perhaps some days you clean the garden, go to the supermarket, walk more than usual, and by evening your calves feel a dull ache, not outright pain, but a definite discomfort. In such moments, what's most needed isn't more sleep, but deeper sleep, uninterrupted by subtle, lingering inflammation or residual muscle soreness. And this is where tart cherry comes into play. Tart cherry contains a group of compounds called anthocyanins, which give it its characteristic deep red color. And these are also among the most potent natural anti-inflammatory agents found in plants. There have been clinical studies on older adults with chronic insomnia. By simply drinking tart cherry regularly for 2 weeks, they not only slept longer, averaging an increase of over 80 minutes per night, but also significantly reduced that dull ache after an active day. Of course, you don't need 240 milliliters as in that study. Just half a glass, about 120 milliliters, each evening is enough. And there's no need to drink it like medicine. Think of it more simply, like a gentle, relaxing drink sipped slowly before brushing your teeth. If it's too tart, you can add a little warm water. If you prefer something warm, you can gently heat it until it's lukewarm, then sip it, like drinking a caffeine-free fruit tea. Have you ever tried drinking something just to feel like you sleep deeper? Not because you're tired, not because of medication, simply because your body has been naturally soothed. The special thing about tart cherry isn't that it induces sleep. Rather, it makes sleep deeper, meaning it's more effective. And it's during these deep sleep stages that muscle cells are truly repaired, minor inflammation is resolved, and your legs are fully restored. Without deep sleep, there's no recovery. Without recovery, no matter how early you go to bed, your legs will still feel heavy in the morning. Now, try to imagine the next morning after 3 to 4 consistent nights of a little cottage cheese, a soft sweet kiwi, a handful of pumpkin seeds, and a gently warm sip of tart cherry juice. In the morning, you open your eyes, not woken by calf cramps, no lingering feeling of something still not recovered. Simply, you stand up and your legs obey. No single pill can create that feeling so gently, and no supplement provides magnesium, natural melatonin, slow digesting protein, tryptophan, and anti-inflammatory compounds, all in the precise, gentle dosage your body needs. Only the combination of the right foods at the right time. If you've ever thought, I've slept, so why am I still tired? Perhaps your sleep wasn't deep enough. And if you've ever thought, my legs are still weak even though I haven't done anything wrong, it might be because your sleep wasn't sufficiently restorative. Now you know what you can do, very gently, to change that. After learning how each food can help your body recover at night, from cottage cheese to tart cherry, you're probably wondering, so how should I start? What should I eat? And when? Do I need all 4 items every night? The short answer is you don't need too much. Just choose correctly and repeat consistently. Your body doesn't need a feast before bed. It just needs the right signal sent to your muscle tissues, to your nerves, to your sleep, that it's time to rest, regenerate, and recharge. And that signal can begin with a small, simple plate that takes less than 10 minutes to prepare. A few slices of kiwi on a small plate, eaten leisurely, a handful of lightly roasted pumpkin seeds, munched while catching up on the evening news. Maybe add a glass of gently tart cherry juice placed next to the sofa, sipped before brushing your teeth. Or perhaps tonight you choose something else. Scoop a small bowl of cottage cheese straight from the fridge, add a dash of cinnamon or not. No need to turn it into a dessert. Just set it down in front of you as a way of telling your body, this is for my legs. These actions don't require an alarm clock, no strict diet plan, no rigorous adherence. They just need to become a part of your rhythm of life, like how you turn off the kitchen lights every evening, like placing your slippers in their designated spot by the bed, like the habit of checking the front door before going to sleep. And once these foods become a habit, gentle, consistent, they're not just food, they become a signal sent to your body that it's time to begin recovery, not tomorrow, not on the weekend, but tonight. And if you found today's video helpful, please hit subscribe so you don't miss other topics on leg health, sleep, and muscle strength for older adults. Because the journey of caring for your legs isn't just a strategy, it's a way of living kindly with yourself. We believe that every food you choose tonight isn't just sustenance, but a small brick, silently, slowly rebuilding the strength for your legs tomorrow. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. We wish you a peaceful night and a truly steady morning.